Hello students, this is Murli Valveti, the promoter of the Young Scientist program. Here I am giving you a few tips on how to fill in the 3 minutes to participate in this national elocution competition. The minimum was 2 minutes, the maximum was 4 minutes, so just to be on safer side, let's take it as 3 minutes. It's not a big deal to fill in 3 minutes. I'll show you how. Generally, when we speak, how many sentences do you think one would speak in a minute? 5, 6, 7. So in 3 minutes, if you plan for 15 to 24 sentences, I think that's more than enough. Particularly when you are participating in a competition like this, it is always wise to write down the script and then present it. Perhaps practice a few times and present it. So what is it that one would speak about in this context? The tips I'm going to give you are not just for this title today. Of course, for this competition, the theme is if I were a scientist. But in general, always you will have an introduction and conclusion. You come there onto the stage or here in front of the camera, introduce yourself, start with a greeting, introduce yourself that you are so and so, you're studying so and so in so and so school. Already 3-4 sentences are gone. And at the end, you also thank the audiences and perhaps compliment the organizers for giving an opportunity like this. 3-4 sentences. You are participating in a competition. Here it is an elocution competition. So you could make a reference to an inspiration from some kind of a success story. You may be talking about a scientist like C.V. Raman, Mokshagundam Visvesvaraya, somebody who achieved big, that inspired you to become a scientist or think like a scientist to participate in this competition. You could also think of the recognitions and awards that get you the satisfaction, the fame, the name as a motivator to participate. Sometimes a challenge may have motivated you to come up with a solution. People who invent new things, people who create solutions to some day-to-day problems are the inventors, scientists, the innovators. So you could make a reference to a problem or a need that you came across at home, in the school, in the theater, or in a hospital, wherever it is. So that could be another way to look at. You could also be picking up something like a desire or a dream that you would like to highlight in becoming a scientist. If I were a scientist is the theme, right? So why do you want to become a scientist? You could fill 1 or 2 sentences reflecting on your desire or a dream. And also, many people, particularly the scientists, contribute to the world, change the world for better. So you could talk about being motivated by the opportunity of making this world better, making the environment better. So these are a few high level things or the subject areas on which you can prepare some sentences and fill those 3 minutes. I'll help you further. There is a little management technique for content development. It's called 5 W's and 1 H. The what, when, why, where, who, and how. These are very standard questions that we come across in our day-to-day life. In any competition or a situation, not only in this elocution, even for essay writing or preparing a presentation, applying these 6 questions would get you content just like that. Just like that. Trust me, you can try. For example, our topic today is if I were a scientist. So let's look at a few questions. Let's play with those words and then make a few questions. And answering these questions would get you the content to practice and present, right? Who is a scientist? Why is a scientist great? Who is your favorite scientist? What's your favorite invention that somebody actually invented something, right? You could make a reference to it. What innovations excited you? Why do you want to be a scientist, by the way? What inspired you to be a scientist? What would you do for the mankind if you were a scientist? What would you do to the people in the society, for the mankind in bigger terms? How would you help the environment becoming better? Perhaps, what would you do for India? Or what would you do for your own hometown or village by becoming a scientist? At the minimum, how would you improve the lives and practices of what your parents do for living? Maybe in their business or the profession. A few things like this, if you write down as questions, prepare answers, put them together. Why only 20 sentences? You can even prepare 50 sentences. You will be short of time. But remember, you can only speak for a maximum of 4 minutes, not more than that. So, preparing a content list, preparing a few points to fill 3 minutes is not that difficult, right? I'm sure you can manage it easily. All the best, guys. Take care.